In today's adventure, we travel from Chiefland to Cedar Key and finally to Crystal River. Along the way, we have some goofs, gaffes, and we have a good old silly time while sitting in traffic. And finally, we ride on the Ozello Trail, the whole reason for our trip today. We also run into a swamp dragon. My name's Jake. This is Wyatt. And our Trace Amigo is Ricky.
We're out here getting Wyatt. Boy overslept, but that's alright. Just called him and he woke up. We're supposed to leave at 8 and it is currently 8:04. So just waiting on the homie. So we'll be hopefully stepping off momentarily. I don't think this is working, but
That is a Sena Mesh Port Red. And if you know anything about the mesh ports or the headsets, this basically is a headset in itself. It can Bluetooth into a camera, and with that you can record audio from everybody that's on the same mesh network. Little did I know I had to move my headset from 3.0 to 2.0 so that I could talk to everybody, and I didn't know that that only supports 2.0. So I was under the impression that it wasn't working, and I was trying to troubleshoot it the night before and couldn't figure it out. Halfway through the ride, it must have gotten turned on, and we recorded audio for some of the ride. Other than that, most of this is just going to be voiceover because this is my first video. Now back to your regularly scheduled video.
we'll see.
This is where Wyatt and I met Ricky in Williston, Florida. After meeting up with Ricky in Williston, we drove to Chiefland, which is roughly 29 to 28 miles north of Williston and roughly 30 minutes away. At this point on our way to Chiefland, Ricky had lost the oil funnel out of his saddlebag, so Wyatt and I had pulled over to wait for him. Once he caught back up to us, we continued on our way to Chiefland to enjoy a delicious and nutritious breakfast at the Huddle House. After eating breakfast, we started to head south down to Cedar Key, and while the roads were empty in the more rural sections, we took advantage of this opportunity to teach Wyatt how to shift more efficiently in his power band to gain as much power as possible when speeding up. Needless to say, after a few hundred miles, Wyatt finally comprehended it and was doing fantastic. As we enter Cedar Key, I regale the boys in a story of when my wife and I had been kayaking and we had ran across a pod of dolphins while off to the left here. This is entering Cedar Key, and we will show you more as we go in. After a brief pit stop to fuel up the bikes, we start to make our way further into the downtown portion of Cedar Key. If you know anything about Cedar Key, there's a lot of restaurants and bars on this pier section of the road, and that's kind of where we're going right now. As you get further into it, there's a restaurant called Steamers that had recently suffered a fire and currently is no longer in business, which is kind of sad to see from a local business. And I never had the opportunity to eat there, but Wyatt and Ricky had eaten there multiple times, saying it was a fantastic restaurant. You'll see the footage as it comes up here. It's pretty obvious. As we come up to the boat ramp, there's obviously many boat trailers. This boat ramp is very busy all the time, year-round, rain or shine. There's always a ton of boats out here. The biggest draw for Cedar Key is fishermen. There's a lot of fishing that happens for profit for these people that live on this area, as well as scallops. This island is not very big. As you see, we're kind of doing a grand tour of it, if you will. And I will kind of cut out of here and just cut in some of the cool stuff. Cedar Key is on the Gulf side of the state, kind of up where the armpit is, if you will, where the Panhandle meets up with the Wang of Florida. But they're always getting hit by hurricanes, always having to recover and rebuild. As you can see there, we kind of went through an area where they were doing some sort of maintenance. It didn't look like there was anything being built. It might have been just for utilities. I'm not the guy that knows that stuff. I'm not going to act like it. But as you see here, we're going down one of the roads that kind of goes out to the western portion of the island, and you get great views. It's beautiful out there. As you continue to follow this road out, you get to the runway in Cedar Key. A little fun fact about that, it is the shortest paved runway in the state. You always have dudes flying in there. Super cool, really fun runway to fly into, apparently. I've only done it on flight simulators, so I don't know anything, but it seems like a cool little spot to check out if you were a pilot. Here we are pulling up to the low-key hideaway and tiki bar. It's probably one of the coolest little tiki bars in the whole state of Florida. It's not super popular, super big, but it's just this little hidden gem. I actually asked my wife to marry me there. If you ever see the 8-ball in there, that's what I used to do it. So it's a little piece of my history in there now too. And that's going to be a wrap on the first half of our Ozello Trail videos. As you can see here, we got a video going of us leaving Chiefland going down into Cedar Key. So if you had any questions on specific routes that we took, what we saw, where we went, that's all going to be right here. I do want to thank you for coming out and watching my video. Hopefully there'll be more. This is my first one, kind of taking a shot, seeing what's up. Anyways, thanks for watching.